Timecrimes from 2007 is a sci-fi horror movie about a man who sees a naked chick in the woods and goes to see what's going on with that. I've seen this one mentioned by many YouTubers and maybe Twitter users, and it fits nicely into the time travel genre, especially if you look at the low-budget horror adjacent movies in this genre. And though it is a little bit hard to get your hands on, I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I was able to check it out. And although I do like this genre, I do find them to be kind of formulaic. We're set up with an odd situation that our main character finds himself in, and then we slowly unwind how that situation was created through the time looping, time machine stuff. This will leave you scratching your head and thinking about where does a loop start, where does it end, who's who, and what's going on a lot of the time. And while it is satisfying to see the pieces fall into place, I can't help but wondering why the characters didn't do different things when they realized what was going on. But that is one of the many pitfalls of the time travel genre. I thought this movie was engaging and I enjoyed my time with it. If you've enjoyed films like Coherence or Triangle, you'll definitely enjoy this one. She Dies Tomorrow from 2020 was my buddy watch with my friend Corey, and I had no expectations except that I was expecting a horror movie, which it is not really unless you count existential dread. The movie starts with our main character Amy, who is in a depressed, lonely state and tells her friend Jane that she knows she's going to die tomorrow. At first, Jane, played by Jane Addams, doesn't believe Amy, but it quickly catches on that Jane thinks that she will also die tomorrow. Because of what was going on in the world at the time this came out, you could definitely classify this as a pandemic horror or a pandemic movie, but watching it so many years after that, both Corey and I came away with different interpretations of the film. I took away themes about how easy it is to spread despair and bad news, and my friend Corey came away with some spiritual themes that I really latched onto, and I was glad that he brought them up. I'll be honest, this movie was not winning me over at first, but when Jane Addams came into the movie, it was pedal to the metal. I haven't seen her in too many things, but she plays the sassy coroner in Twin Peaks: The Return, a role that was very small, but she was a fan favorite and a favorite of mine for sure. There are several other recognizable people. Some have cameos in very small roles. Others, like Katie Aselton, has a more fleshed out role, and it was a cool surprise to see her in this movie as well. This is a little bit of a slower movie. It's not super long, but it is one of those moody, slow movies, so just know that going in. And it's not a game changer. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but I always love movies that you can kind of pick at and get your wheels turning and think about what the movie was actually trying to say, or even your own interpretation of it. And this definitely delivered on that front. Guest Wife from 1945 is a comedy starring Claudette Colbert as the wife of a happy-go-lucky guy who has this best friend who always ruins their plans, the married couple's plans, I mean. And just when our couple is planning to go on a second honeymoon at the beginning of the movie, you'll never believe who shows up. The disruptive friend named Joe weasels his way into this trip to New York, but also ropes Mary, Claudette Colbert's character, into a scheme to pose as his wife to meet the boss at his job that he got under the pretenses that he was a married man. And of course, like any scheme in a screwball comedy, it's never as easy as it seems, and it never goes to plan. I'm very surprised to see this having such a low view count on Letterboxd, because it is a really great movie and it is so freaking funny. I was wheezing at some of these scenes and some of the jokes and little one-liners, and Claudette Colbert is just a comedic genius. And there were some lulls in the action, a couple of subplots here and there that maybe didn't need to be in the movie, but in general it just snaps along at a good pace, was very entertaining, and like I said, just absolutely hilarious. I have the Olive Films Blu-ray of this movie, but as of the time of this recording, this movie is available on YouTube, and I would recommend you check it out yourself, especially for fans of Claudette Colbert. And that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you staying till the end. If you like these short movie reviews I do, I have a whole playlist of them on my channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.